Hello everybody, and a very big welcome back to my channel. And today we are visiting this beautiful chateau, a beautiful medieval chateau in the Mayenne, and that is in the Loire Valley in the Pays de la Loire in northern France. So here we have it. It's a magnificent castle, and I just can't wait to get in and to do this tour because it's been a long time coming, and I know everyone's been probably wondering why I've been taking so long, but it's just because everything's been out of season, but things are starting to open up again, thank goodness. And so let's begin, everybody. Please, thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe to my channel. That would be so appreciated and really help my channel out. So this wonderful chateau is the Château de Mayenne, and it is actually a former Carolingian residence from the 10th century. That's right, it's at least a thousand years old. Built during the reign of Charles the Simple, and remodelled several times, and it stands in the French commune of Mayenne in the department of Mayenne in the Pays de la Loire region. Now, at the beginning of the Middle Ages, the site of Mayenne began to be occupied, and an estate is mentioned there dating back to the 8th century, and where it is said that a large wooden building was built there on the rocky spur overlooking the river. So around the year 900, and this building was then replaced by a stone palace, while Jublains was abandoned in favour of Mayenne. So Jublains is a previous settlement, Roman settlement that was there. So we do have records of there being a previous wooden building here before the stone castle was built. Yeah. Let's see the view. Oh, it's the Mayenne.
Look at that.
Wow, look at this view. Look how high the river is. We're going to stand on here. Oh, it is beautiful, isn't it?
See those stairs, those supposed to be stairs on them.
So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Annabelle, and today, as I have been promising for a long time, I'm doing a chateau visit, and I have discovered on a day out this beautiful town of Mayenne, and it's got a beautiful chateau here, and the town is absolutely gorgeous. Like, we could spend all weekend and many days of visits here just exploring, because there's just so much to see. But we have found a beautiful chateau, and I can't say I know a lot about it right now at this moment because it's a spontaneous visit, but we're going to go and see what we can find. But this view up here is just stunning of the Mayenne River, and it is beautiful, but it's really swollen obviously with all the rain we've been having. But look how beautiful it is. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's so beautiful. So yes, so this was originally a Carolingian palace, and it was redeveloped several times during the Middle Ages, losing its role as a feudal residence, and it became a garrison castle from the 14th century before being transformed into a prison in the 18th century. The castle was finally bought by the town of Mayenne in 1936, and development work started in 1993, which revealed bays with Gallo-Roman style arches, revealing the persistence of a Carolingian construction on several levels. So this discovery of preserved Carolingian civil or military buildings is extremely rare, and the site was declared an archaeological site of national interest, and major excavations were carried out before the castle became a museum. So the castle is registered as a historic monument since November the 19th, 1936. And this magnificent castle is built on the steppes of Brittany. Like the Chateau of Laval, it was responsible for defending men against Brittany, Anjou and Normandy, and it thus faces the Breton castle of Fougères. And this castle has borders with Lower Normandy and Brittany, being only 18 kilometres to the north and 33 kilometres to the west. The town's marginal position has long contributed to its strategic importance. So the rocky outcrop on which the castle stands was probably occupied during late antiquity, as fragments of pottery from that era have been discovered there. However, there are too few of them to support a dense and lasting occupation. So here it is. It looks like definitely a medieval chateau, and I can't wait for us to go inside, go and see what the story is with this chateau. But there are so many lovely shops here as well to go and visit and have a look around. You can even do some retail therapy here. So the wooden building that was previously here, it was rebuilt in stone around 900. It then included a rectangular two-storey dwelling with a large upper room, the aula, a staircase turret and a square tower. And this square tower reuses large stones from the Roman fortress of Jublains, abandoned since the 5th century. Anne Bouquet and Jacques Navot interpret it as a symbol of transfer of power. Shortly after, the ramparts were also rebuilt in stone. The reconstruction of the castle took place after Breton attacks against Maine between 840 and 870. Over the old bridge here. Oh, hang on a minute, there's a statue up there. Until 1993, it was assumed that the castle of Mayenne had been founded in the 11th century, a time when the development of lordships took place and which saw the birth in particular of the castles of Laval and Château Gontier. Interior work carried out in July 1993 under the supervision of Jacques-Henri Boufflet, architect of Bâtiments de France, revealed brick arcades hidden under coatings. This method of construction was unknown in the 11th century in the region. It tells you how it's evolved over time. So it's never stopped evolving, this. Although there are numerous remains of Carolingian churches in Europe, preserved civil or military buildings from this period are extremely rare. The Château de Mayenne, which has preserved 3 levels erected at this time, has earned it the status of a site of national interest. The study carried out from 1996 to 1999 by the Oxford Archaeological Unit team and the University of Maine confirms the Carolingian dating of the castle. In fact, the oldest stone building was built around the year 900. The castle is the only archaeological site of national interest in the Pays de la Loire. The castle of Mayenne has been the subject of a study carried out since 1996 on the masonry in elevation. This area was originally outside the Carolingian building, the south face of which is visible from here, after having been partly occupied by a prison building in the 18th and 19th century. It was encompassed in the enlargement of the prison in 1826. It was not, however, a cellar and was filled in the with earth until 1990. A door leads to the archaeological crypt beneath the courtyard. Ah, Stefan, we're going to go through this door here because there's more through here. Oh. Oh, this is very interesting. Look at this. This is cool, isn't it?
Scary.
This is amazing what they found, isn't it?
All down here. All goes down further.
So this is the crypt. Well, you can't see anything on the camera much, but we're in the crypt basically, and it's all very dark down here. So these are all finds that they've dug up around the chateau, and they found all these old pots. And these were English people from Oxford who came here. Archaeologists from Oxford. Okay, and they've found all these old pots. And these spears and keys. See? They found all these old horseshoes, all in the mud, in the ground, okay? This is, look at what they found, look. Old knives, look at the old tools and things. Equipment, military equipment. We've got domestic equipment, all from the 10th and the 12th century. Amazing. And then we've got from the prison finds from the 16th and the 19th century. Ceramics from the end of the Middle Ages, from the 15th century. And keys and locks Old locks, door locks. Tools. Armour, tools and things. What's this? Christ de la Chapelle, Saint-Léonard. They even found an old cross. Very interesting. Oh, this is the old palace, Carolingien. Built to assert Carolingian power against the Bretons and Normans. A palace, preserved on 3 levels, was gradually enclosed in defensive structures until it became a real fortified castle. This is the entrance to the Aula. Aula Carolingienne, so this is the entrance to the main reception area. On June the 21st, 2008, the town of Mayenne opened a museum in the castle, the architect of which is Philippe Madec. In 2008, this museum welcomed 19,644 visitors. The permanent collections focus on discoveries made during archaeological excavations of this site. We now know that Richard Cœur de Lion, the Lionheart, came to this castle frequently when coming through the region of Pays de la Loire and through Only Chateau onto the Mayenne, and he often visited this castle. His reputation is greatly associated with, within the military. He was a great military leader and warrior, and was also King of England from 1189 until his death in 1199. He also ruled as Duke of Normandy, Aquitaine and Gascony. He is the son of Henry II, King of England, and Eleanor d'Aquitaine. And he was the 4th child. I believe he's the 4th son. And he has a lot of his roots and history within this area and in Normandy at the Château de Mayenne. And you can find that at that visit in one of my videos. So he was the 3rd of 5 sons of Henry II of England and Eleanor of Aquitaine, and seemed unlikely to become king, but his 2 elder brothers predeceased their father. So by the age of 16, Richard had taken command of his own army, putting down rebellions in Poitou against his father. And Richard was an important Christian commander during the 3rd Crusade, leading the campaign after the departure of Philip II of France and achieving several victories against his Muslim counterpart, Saladin, although he finalised a peace treaty and ended the campaign without retaking Jerusalem. Richard probably spoke both French and Aquitaine. He was born in England, where he spent his childhood before becoming king. However, he lived most of his adult life in the Duchy of Aquitaine in the southwest of France. Most of his reign was spent on crusade, in captivity, or actively defending his lands in France. Rather than regarding his kingdom as a responsibility requiring his presence as ruler, he has been perceived as preferring to use it merely as a source of revenue to support his armies. Nevertheless, he was seen as a pious hero by his subjects. Richard was said to be very attractive. His hair was between red and blonde, and he was light-eyed with a pale complexion, according to Clifford Brewer. And he was 6 feet 5 inches tall, although that is unverifiable since his remains have been lost since at least the French Revolution. A Latin prose narrative of the Third Crusade states that Richard the Lionheart. He was tall, of elegant build. The colour of his hair was between red and gold. His limbs were supple and straight. He had long arms, suited to wielding a sword. His long legs matched the rest of his body.
Look at this, if you look. Double bolted on the outside. And this could well have been like a prison holding cell of some sort. Or used for that at some point. I certainly think.
Yeah, well, they did use it as a prison. This, fortress was used for up to 80 prisoners. It had.
I think these would have been in the older times. This would have been a fortress where you'd fire arrows and stuff out of these, out of the holes.
Yeah.
There's arrows.
Yeah, out of these.
But when you look at this door,
Defence windows.
Yeah. But when you look at this door, you can see on it, it's got the opening of like a prison door,
Yeah.
Got double bolts on the outside.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah, exactly. Should we continue?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it open for future visitors.
Yes, I would.
Marriage alliances were common among medieval royalty. They led to political alliances and peace treaties and allowed families to stake claims of succession on each other's lands. In March 1159, it was arranged that Richard would marry one of the daughters of Baroque, Count of Barcelona. However, these arrangements failed and their marriage never took place. Early in the 1160s, there had been suggestions Richard should marry Alice, Countess of the Vexin. What's this? Is it a special book?
Yeah, the book
of hours. Ah, it's beautiful. Oh, it is beautiful, yeah. 1440. Artois et Flandre. Livre d'heures à l'usage de Thérouanne. This is a beautiful chest. Coffre. Neptune sur son char. It's Neptune on his chariot. Oh, I love this chest. Beautiful. So this is 16th century. Beautiful. What else does it say? Yeah, it's a mythological decor chest, and they think it represents perhaps maybe the different seasons of the year. There you go. Very beautiful. This is Saint Anne, 16th century Saint Anne, all carved in wood. Very beautiful. And then here we have another wooden carving of the Virgin of Sinons. Okay. But very interesting, very old. This is 11th, 12th century. Yes, extremely old. That is incredible. this lovely pottery and all these beautiful archaeological finds that they've got in here.
I have, it's amazing, isn't it?
This castle is a truly unique castle in Europe. Seigneurial residence, castle, prison, its walls bear witness and bear the traces of the lives it has sheltered. Built shortly before year 1000, the castle is an exceptional example of a palace dating from the Carolingian period, with reception room, tower and cellar, which are remarkably well preserved. The dungeon and ramparts, built in the 13th century to transform the castle into a fortress, still proudly dominate the town. Now a museum, the castle is discovered thanks to a lively and interactive scenography. The castle houses a museum featuring extraordinary collections from the Middle Ages related to the site, the town of Mayenne and the department. These artifacts bear witness to the daily life of the lords and knights who followed one another in Mayenne. Built to assert Carolingian power against the Bretons and Normans, a palace, preserved on 3 levels, was gradually enclosed in defensive structures until it became a real fortified castle. So this is the salle de fête. It's the festival where they would have had all their gatherings and meetings, and all the tables would have been in here. All their, everyone who was invited, all their friends, all important people would have been invited into this room here. And this chateau was around the times of the medieval times. It was where all the knights used to come here. So we are talking about the Knights of the Round Table. Yes, we are, like Richard the Lionheart. We know that Richard the Lionheart, he was the king, but he was firstly, really, he was more interested in knighthood. That's really where his passions were. That's what he was really born to do. And so it was very, very well known, this chateau, for the knighthood. And the Knights of the Round Table together in this chateau. This is where they used to come, to this castle. And it really is beautiful. It's beautiful. This is the tower Carolingien. At the side of the main building comprising the palace reception hall, this is the palace reception hall in there, the tower could be used as a dwelling. The 2 brick arches frame a corner of this room, indicating the location of doors which communicated on the left with the stair turret, serving the floors on the right. During the excavations of the castle, a real treasure was brought to light, a collection of 100 game pawns dating from the 10th and 12th centuries. Unique for the quality of workmanship, as for the quantity found, these chess and backgammon pawns make up the most important collection discovered in France. So this is an old games room, and they have actually found, excavated, all old games pieces for backgammon, pawns, trick-track, which is another French game, and lots of pieces, games pieces for backgammon. and old chess pieces. Now these are the old chess pieces they were talking about, and they are really interesting. So they were archaeologists from Oxford who came here, and they dug up all these old findings. Really amazing. Hang on. Really lovely. Look, they're all old chess pieces, and they are carved out of deer antlers. Ah, deer antlers. And over here we've got old dice. The dices. Can you see out the window here? This is the view out the window from the games room, and it looks out onto the medieval gardens and the courtyard. Very nice. Oh, look at these finds. What have they found here? Oh yes, it's what they used to make the games, the chess pieces and the drafts.
They used to make like artwork,
Trick track.
models, boats and things.
Yes.
Scrimshaw, it's really, really fine carvings they used to make. This is a lot of it in the Napoleonic era.
What was it called?
I think it's called scrimshaw work.
Scriptural work.
Yeah, where they basically get like old bones where they've eaten. There's a lot of prisoners used to do it in the Napoleonic wars, and you see a lot of them. You see a lot of it from Dartmoor, when the prisoners from the Napoleonic Wars were in Dartmoor prisons. They'd make things out of bits of bone and stuff, carve it, and sell it to the locals. Yes, I think it's scrimshaw.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's
Yeah, lovely. Artisanal work. They were artisans, weren't they? That's what they did.
sorts of things.
That's how they used to do it.
They make their own dice out of bits of bone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, they're here. The old dice, they're over there.
Yeah. And they've got backgammon pieces here, you know.
Yes.
All these sort of things. So, they colour them with ash. So they have the white ones, and then they have the black ones they colour with ash.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it, what they
It
did?
is. Yeah, they make all sorts of things.
And they're beautiful. Their pieces are way nicer than the ones that you find today, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So this is a lovely old games room, and you know, games rooms were really important, as they are today for us, as they were entertainment for people. And you can imagine in those days it was extremely important to have all your chess games and backgammon and drafts, whatever else they played. And so they had these entire rooms just for games. And it's a beautiful room. It's a very similar room to the one downstairs. It's just a different use. Yeah, it's really beautiful. I mean, it's in really good condition. I mean, it's well preserved and it's been really well renovated in here. It's beautiful. So this is a very, very old part of this fortress, and it's the Carolingian tour. So it's the old chapel, the old prison chapel. And it is just so beautiful in here. It's just so unusual. And it's just so old. I mean, this window dates back over 1,000 years. And the detail is absolutely phenomenal on here. And I wish I had better lighting and a better camera, because I do need to invest in a better camera for this channel. But I'm doing the best I can with what I have, but it really is phenomenal. This is a beautiful room. This window is absolutely stunning, and it's made with wood. It's actually wood, and it's made to look like marble. And they've got some beautiful carvings all around the window frame. I don't know if you can see that. My camera work isn't that great. And so this window dates back to at least 1,000 years. And it actually has some Latin written on the top, saying AD Majorem Die Gloriam. I don't know if I said that correctly. At the top there. And I mean, it really is just an amazing place to be. This fortress is a one-off. It wasn't long ago where they didn't actually think this castle was really that important or that significant in comparison to other chateaux in France. And then they discovered all the Carolingien foundations and the old palaces that are here in the 1990s with archaeologists from Oxford. So they worked with archaeologists from Oxford in the UK, and then they started discovering all the old Carolingian discoveries, and then they realised that there's only like 3 other chateaux like this in Europe. So now they are extremely interested in this fortress ever since, and they are continuing to do research on all the grounds here. Because they know that there's going to be an awful lot more to discover here, and that it's got an awful lot of stories to tell us, and it's just beautiful, and it's just lovely to come and see it. Definitely worth a visit. So, isn't it great just coming to visit all these old castles?
It's really nice. Yeah. No, it's pretty good. I like it. Pretty cool. I mean, it's obviously been redone, and it had to have been redone. But it's I like the sort of the stuff they've found, and I think that's really nice.
It's really interesting that all these artifacts and findings, all the archaeological finds
I really
from their
like
digs and things.
I really like that. It's really good.
Yeah.
Shows you what it's all about.
Do you know what I just can't get over every time we come to these places? Is trying to imagine how old the actual age of these buildings and all the history that's been here. And
it's hard to realise that something like this is over 900 years. Well, it's built in the 9th century, so it's it's almost 1,200 years old. Not quite, but
yeah. It's just hard to comprehend, isn't it?
Over 1,100 years old. It's really old. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a man playing guitar. That's awesome.
Oh. Wait. What is it, darling?
I found a cool helmet.
Have you?
Is that one up here?
I'll try it on. Try it on what?
There's nothing matter.
Oh, it doesn't fit.
Not this. It's for kids, darling. It's for kids. Not for adults. So.
Oh, it's so shame.
I know. I'd look so good with it.
Hello, how are you?
Did you enjoy the castle?
I did. It was good. It was good. It was really, really nice.
But it's pouring down with rain.
Got a bit damp.
So we need to go and find somewhere to go and, like, I don't know, sit down, find some warmth somewhere a bit drier.
Let's go find somewhere to have a coffee or a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And go get warm because the temperature's
And
dropped.
also maybe visit some shops.
Why not? Don't often do that these days.
No, we
Sounds
don't,
good.
do we?
Go
Let's
have a
go
look.
and have a look. I love these old buildings right next to the castle here. They're gorgeous. Really old, these ones are. The current town of Mayenne has its origins in towns created in the 11th and early 12th centuries near the castle. Near the Notre Dame church and on the other bank near the Saint-Martin Priory. Their development gradually formed the city. At the end of the Middle Ages, it did not have a wall but was surrounded by a moat. The main building of the city was its castle, attested from the beginning of the 10th century.